one of the things to overcome if you've been in Western schools and you're trying to learn the Tibetan system of learning and trying to make use of the books that have come out is that, well, see, I use things like algebra to figure out contrastive analysis, and this is a skill that you're supposed to have to be able to self-educate after a certain point. And I think that some people resist, well, this is a Western way of thinking about it. How are we going to figure this out? If you sit there with the puzzles and things, like I had a book that was talking about the wisdoms and how they were tied to the elements. I had another book that had hum tied to the wisdoms. So I went through with the wisdoms and figured out what the elements were on the hum. And then I had recently seen an image, and then I just saw it again on Pinterest, in which, tying the elements to the colors, somebody else had done that, and it was the official way of doing it. That when you look at the different segments of the syllable hung, that you can see all of the elements in it. Now, I was reading in Bon, you would use ah instead of hum, but it doesn't work with the different parts of the syllable, as far as I know, for all of the different elements. However, the ah is situated inside of an 8-faceted diamond shape, like a double tetrahedron, but it's 2 4s stacked on top of each other, so an 8-faceted diamond in your heart. And they reverse the blue and the white. Another thing I noticed was that when I was looking at the mandala to try to figure out how I wanted to approach integrating the elements mandala and the elements chants, the elements mantras, with my son's king chant in the evening. And so the mandala goes differently. So in the you still have space in the center, but it's white. You have air. So you start in the north with air. Then you go counterclockwise, and you go to fire, then to water in the south, and to earth in the east. So that's a difference. If you've been doing, if you learned Abhidharma and then tried to learn Kalachakra, this isn't that hard to process. Or if you went the other way around, some people learn Kalachakra first and then learn Abhidharma. But, because I was trying to figure out why Bon used a different. When I was watching some of the videos of the Bon mudras, the hand gestures in regards to the elements, which there are some of the hand gestures that are called for in the Chakra Samvara that you have to learn from Bon. The five rounds of desire. I saw one Bonpo do some gestures, and I just assumed that that's what it was. Right, to put both, it said both 5 rounds of desire, moving both hands simultaneously, and he did this thing where he had one hand above the other and then kept switching it back and forth. And so how do I figure this stuff out? gradually had, what else would it be? He was talking about the elements. And then there was a physiological issue. The 5 chakras, when he got to the 5th chakra, he got frisky. So, okay, paying attention to the signs. And anyway, laugh simultaneously. So anyway, some other things that I had worked with other stuff and then figured it out. As you accumulate fact-checking episodes, when you try to work, see, I have been way off in left field, tried to figure things out and thought things, and it wasn't quite right, or I haven't found the system in which they did it that way. There are a lot of people that may have made a mistake at some point, but they were in charge. Somebody had to decide how to proceed, and their Band-Aid, their patch, became part of their method. That would explain the differences in some of these methods. Now, they go back and they say, well, they had enough Mahamudra that they were paying attention to what they were thinking at the time that they decided that this was their way of doing it, that they can explain why they do it this way, and it's as good as explanation as the guy who was doing it the other way. But a lot of this stuff, why am I being able to come up with these things? Sitting there paying attention to my thoughts, improves memory, improves intuition, improves a lot of the ability to recall a specific statement, a specific quotation, for example, that my guru gave of a book that he wanted me to read, for the sake of my confidence for when I did find the book and read it. And this has happened to me over and over and over again. So the more you look at your thoughts just as they are, just letting them sit there, not judging them, not thinking about whether it's a good thought or a bad thought, and overcoming some of the embarrassment, you should periodically confess to your guru in the vague and general way about anything, because you don't even know what you've done wrong. Just saying the words, that's a portion of having faith. And faith really does work and help in this issue. That's another thing that Westerners struggle with, is having faith in this system, having belief in it, eventually making logical sense. A lot of people walk away when they realize it's never going to.